I will stay here until we get all the questions answered. I'm here tonight as your servant. I am a public servant. And I purposely this evening sent out an email to 123 people a couple days ago who emailed me and said they didn't agree with my viewpoints. And I know I met some of the line out there, and I'd like to make sure we can even begin with some of those questions this evening. I am a representative first, I tell you. I listen, but I also explain. And then my second job is to be a congressman, and to go to Washington and help to resolve the symptoms up here that the pastor and others are dealing with by better legislation that hopefully we can get towards the vision of a more just society. I'm honored to be here tonight. I was attracted out here through another vet who introduced us. And I was attracted out here because I knew that downstairs at that dinner, there's quite a score of veterans that show up. Some homeless, some bordering on homeless. Some from the Vietnam era, some from much more recent. But there's an expanded community down there, but there's also down there a community that actually has people that want to help. So I'm here this evening to talk about one way that I believe we should be helping America all it can be. And I say that because my journey to here was as a veteran. Most of you know I was in the military until about 3.5 years ago. And I was always taken by the military that it tends to invest in its people. Everybody is covered in health care. I don't wait 11.5 month war, and my daughter and my wife were covered. My mind was focused on a mission. And that paid big dividends in a much more efficient, effective, productive, mission-oriented force. So that's the type of experience I had. And when, as some of you know, my daughter had TRICARE, a treatment that could take care of her at 4.5 years old brain cancer, and you gave me that healthcare plan, I got in to pay back. But I, having served this nation in the military, now more specifically, serve you. I don't expect everybody to agree with me all the time, but I expect to listen. We've had 38 summits inside my district and many outside. Because church down the way on Veterans Day I spoke at, Temple on Martin Luther King Day. Why? 45% of the people who are employed in my district work outside my district. If it's a globalized world, it's certainly a globalized region. And what happens outside my district impacts my district. What happens in my district impacts others. It's rare I'll turn down an invitation, as here, particularly when it's for a purpose that I literally got into Congress with. And this evening, I want you to know that I'll be speaking up here, having held at least 8 of those summits over the last 2.5 years on health care. The very first one I actually had was with Patrick Kennedy. I asked him to come up and do one at Elwyn, which many of you are familiar with, on mental health parity. The largest disease, but the largest disease in America. What an impact. The largest disease in America. And we've had one on single payer over at Swarthmore College. And we've had one on general discussion on Westchester University, of which I only have about 1/3 of the president's house in my district that I call it my district. There's about another, almost as many downstairs. So up here we're going to ask that individuals will, and I'd like to ask at the beginning if you don't mind, that send an email in and say, hey Joe, I kind of disagree with you. And I made sure there was 123 that I could come back to them quickly, at least get some of them at the beginning. And there'll be others who disagree with me from the other side, but I intend to try to stay with the facts tonight and answer them, because I believe that this reform we are about